We'll begin our service on page 3 as Sarah Moore blesses us all with our reading and lights our Sabbath lights.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Matches today.
Yeah, I trust you a lot.
Or you don't trust me. I don't know how that works. Whoop, there we go.
I think we're good. Okay, thank you. We sing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu shel Shabbat.
We'll continue on page 5 with the Kiddush as we rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon, in milanu, zikaron l'maaseh, v'reshit, ki hu yom tefila, l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu k'dasha, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, imchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
We continue as we welcome our Sabbath angels with Shalom Aleichem on page 20.
You may be seated. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Just as we welcome the ministering angels of Shabbat, let us not forget to welcome those angels which join us in our pews tonight. Take some time, say Shabbat Shalom to someone who's sitting near you. Let's enjoy the welcome of one another. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Ron, see you. Blessings. See you a lot. You come here all the time.
We rise in body or spirit on page 28 for the Baruch.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
We'll read together on page 33. At the top of the page. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai. Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
We continue on page 36 with the V'ahavta. I hope you'll join me.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha ayom al levavecha ve'shinatam levanecha ve'dibarta bam ve'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha b'derech u'shachbecha u'vkumecha u'shartam le'ot al yadecha ve'hayu letotavot bein einecha uchtavtam amezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
We continue responsively on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot.
That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness.
That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, norah tehi
page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Spirit on page 46 for our tefillah.
Yeah.
on page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha lecha me'eh lehodot.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech Adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, bechol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
We turn our thoughts now to those within our community and beyond our community who are in need of healing, whether it be healing of the body or healing of the soul. If there's a name that you'd like to offer that we can hold together tonight, I invite you to do so now as my arm passes over you. Shabbat can be found on page 253. 253.
May the source of strength, who
you now an opportunity to either use the words on page 62 or those which you find in your heart for a silent meditation. Once, there were two brothers. They lived on either side of a field they worked together. One brother fell in love, and with his spouse raised many children. The other brother remained a bachelor. As the years went on, though the physical distance between them remained unchanged, an emotional rift grew between them, such that they seldom saw one another. One year, when harvest time came, the brothers, as was their custom, divided it evenly, and each one deposited his gleanings within his own storehouse at the end of the field. That night, however, the bachelor brother laid awake, thinking to himself, "My poor, poor brother. He has so many mouths to feed and so much responsibility. And here I am, with so much more than I need." Suddenly, it became clear to him exactly what he had to do. In a frenzy, he ran out of the storehouse and gathered as much wheat as he could. Under the cover of darkness, he crossed the field to his brother's storehouse, and he deposited his load there. He then returned home and fell asleep with the satisfaction that he had given of himself for the sake of his brother. Later that same night, however, the married brother too laid awake, thinking to himself, "My poor, poor brother. When I grow old, my children will provide for me, but he has no one to do so for him. I really hope that he saved enough diligently." And in that instant, it became clear to him exactly what he had to do. In a frenzy, he ran out to his storehouse and gathered as much wheat as he could carry. Under the cover of darkness, he crossed the field to his brother's storehouse and deposited his load there. The next morning, when each brother went to survey his own storehouse, both were astonished to find that their harvest seemed undiminished. Had the events of the night before only been a dream? Independently, each one resolved that that very night he would ensure that he provided his brother just as he intended. And again, under the cover of darkness, both brothers made trips from his storehouse to the others, and again, when they awoke the next morning, they were frustrated to find that their stores seemingly remained unchanged. So it went, night after night, until one night, finally, the two happened to encounter each other. Upon that meeting, each brother knew what the other had been doing for him. And it was then and there that the two of them embraced. And their spirit of brotherhood was so great that legend has it, this was the very spot, that very spot of reunification was where the cornerstone of the temple would be laid. And in some ways, this is the story of the book of Genesis. From the expulsion from the Garden of Eden to Abraham having heard Lech Lecha and departing from his father's house to a land he has not known. From Jacob's fleeing from his brother to Haran and fleeing from his uncle back to Canaan. From Joseph being sold into slavery in Egypt to his brother's own descent down there during a time of famine. Our story is constantly one of radical leaving. Departure after departure after departure into wilderness, that wilderness of the unknown. And we make that departure time and time again with little more than faith in God's protection. The entirety of the Torah is an epic journey to a promised land of milk and honey, which even Moses won't enjoy. But the book of Genesis, if we take it by itself, begins with expulsion from the garden and ends with the reunification of the brothers. As in this week's Torah portion by Yechi, they are gathered by their father's deathbed where he blesses each one of them individually. Now these blessings won't come to fruition in the Torah. But if we have the faith to read on, we find that each one of Israel's promises will be fulfilled. And I fear that once again, we are facing down a moment of departure. another season of mask mandates and social distance. And again, we embark to the wilderness of the unknown. We do so with little more than faith that one day we'll be reunited in that promised land face to face, unmasked and unafraid. Surely, between then and now, we will each bear the yoke of Egypt in one way or another. But when that day comes, when we leave that narrow place of Mitzrayim, we'll remember Israel's blessings of Joseph's sons in this week's portion. Of Ephraim and Manasseh, we say that all the people of the world will be blessed by them. May God make each of us, like Ephraim and Manasseh, two brothers who broke the biblical mold, who did not war with each other as Isaac and Ishmael had, or as Jacob and Esau had, or Joseph and his brothers as they did. To do so, we must be generous with the gleanings of our harvest. We must be concerned with the well-being of our siblings. And so, we will indeed meet each other in the field of salvation. On that day, together we lay the cornerstone of this temple, rededicating ourselves to holy relationship. And on that day, when we take off our masks and know the words of the prophet Micah, each one of us dwelling under vine and fig tree, with none to make us afraid. In the meantime, we remember those words that Rabbi Nachman of Breslov tells us, that though the entire world is a very narrow bridge, the most important part is not to be afraid. Shabbat Shalom. We begin the conclusion of our service on page 282 as we rise for our labor. finite flame. Like the Shabbat candle, life is kindled, it burns, and it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades and its substance is consumed. It is no more. In light we are seen. In light we see. The flames dance and our lives are full, but as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flame. We see no more, and we are seen no more. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life, and something of us can never die. We move in this eternal cycle of darkness and death, but also of light and life. We remember the recent passings of Martin Fivish, Lawrence Silverman, Eleanor Radin, and Irma Rosegood Joel. This Shabbat we also remember Victor Andriozzi, Lori Barr, Cheryl A. Clavin Brown, Gertrude Buxtaver Clare, Dora Finkler, Dr. Henry Gewertz, Janet Engelhardt Gutterman, Esther Halper, Gladys Jacober, David Weintraub, Rose Unger, Faye Steinberg, Paula E. Schumann, Bernie Levine, and
Joseph Frankel.
Stephen Brown, Irma Brown, Jack Valenza.
the words of our mourner's cottage can be found on page 294. If it is your custom, I ask you now to please rise. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemirabah, Be'amad, Yigrach, Yirutei, Yamlich, Malchutei, Bechayechon, Yomechon, Uchayei, Tachol Beit Yisrael, Ba'abala, Bisman, Karim, V'Yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabban, Varach, Ve'olam, Lamei, Amaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Kudusha, B'richu, Le'elam min kol birkata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran v'yama v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemayim, V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom v'ramav, U'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom,
Today, we finished setting up our second of at least 5 apartments for parolees from Afghanistan. If you have questions about how you can be helpful in this congregational endeavor, which we do in partnership with our neighbors across the street at St. Martin, please talk to Amy Gaddis. Or if you don't have time, you might have money, we'll take your money too.
We conclude this evening's service with Adon Olam on page 321. 321. Adon Olam Asher Malach V'tereko Yetzir Nivra Le'eit Na'asa V'chefzoko Azai Melech
Eidchem l'shalom u'volechem l'shalom. Go out to peace and return again in peace. Until then, we wish you a Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.